Welcome to Daily Zohar. This shiur is dedicated Leilul Nishmat Yitzchak Kadesh Ben Devorah and L'Hatzlacha U'Parnasa U'Figel Sarah Bat Reuven Lev. The Zohar says, Ish o Isha ki ya'asu mikol chatot ha'adam. A man or a woman that will do from all the sins of men, or would violate all sins of men. Let's see exactly what does that mean. And it says also in Sefer Shoftim, in Judges, V'chever hakini. It says V'chever hakini, right? What does it mean, Chever hakini? Nifrad was separated Mikain, from Cain and Hevel. Mibnei Chovev Chotan Moshe. V'chever hakini, and that person, Haya mibnei banav shel Yitro, was a descendant of Yitro. Kmo she'ata omer, as it says also in the pasuk, Vayomer Shaul el hakini, and Shaul said to the kini. Lama nikra kini? Why is it called kini? What kind of a nickname is that kini? It says, we already says ve'eta kini ve'akinizi, and so on. So we learned, the Zohar says, She'asa ken bamidbar kemo ha'of hazeh. As birds make a nest in the desert, ken, kuf nun, ken, in Hebrew means a nest. As much as a nest does, or builds as much as a bird builds a nest to itself, so is that particular person build a nest in the desert for that. And why did he build this nest? כדי לעסוק בתורה ונפרש מן העיר, in order to learn Torah and to be separated from the city. In other words, when you create a nest is a very soothing thing. I'll never forget, last year on one of my plum trees, one time we look from the window and we see a nest, and I said, I wonder what bird would build it. And it was a robin, the robin redbreast, and they had 3 beautiful blue eggs inside, and they hatched, and we took pictures of them, and they hatched and they grew until they were like really mature, and they were still in the nest, all hovering out. Nest is a very soothing. That's a short haircut. It's a very soothing thing. So it kind of protects you. It surrounds you, almost like a life vest that you throw. It's like it surrounds you. So also there's also another meaning because it's round. It's all around you. So that is, so a person separates from the city and learns Torah. Nifrad mikain, nifrad me'am ha'u shaya b'hem tchila. He separated from Cain, Yitro also, right? Jethro. V'nidbak ba'am ha'u, v'nidbak b'kadosh baruch hu. Ve'al ken nifrad mikain. In order to separate from Cain, in order to connect yourself to God, you need to separate from the people. You guys don't understand. People think that doing mitzvot is just doing a mitzvah. I'm doing a mitzvah and so on and so forth. It takes a tremendous contemplation on your behalf to really understand that you're doing what you're doing because God had commanded you to do that. It takes a special individual to realize I'm doing so because God asked me to. You're not doing anybody a favor by keeping a mitzvah or keeping the Torah. When you realize that, why am I making a bracha? Why am I keeping Shabbat? Why am I keeping family purity? Because God asked me to. So it's not a problem. The problem comes when you think that, this is man-made, and you're doing somebody a favor, and then you're like, all of a sudden, I have questions. Why should I do this? Why shouldn't I do that? I don't understand. What's the problem? God told me to do so. He did it. Why Gentiles don't do it? Because He didn't tell them. He told me. I don't have a problem with this. That's what He wants, and that's what I'll do. This is the beauty of when we have chukim or mishpatim. Chukim is like chok, para aduma. Right? The red heifer. Why? I don't know why. God wants me to do this like this, I'll do it like that. The fact that I'm trying to find, again, not within the boundaries of halakha, outside the boundaries of halakha, loopholes to do that, that's not going to do the job. Why did God created men and women? Two different creatures. Because that's what He wanted. And men are doing certain mitzvot, and women are doing certain mitzvot. And now that there are women, and it really bothered me, I read yesterday an article in an Israeli newspaper, this woman was writing, she called herself a religious woman, she says, all you religious women who sat there quietly mesmerized at this women who going to the kotel, this is the future of the people. Sorry, the future of the people is not with women putting talit and tefillin on and trying to make a feminist statement. I'll tell you that. I think that I'm more feminist than most feminist women. I can tell you that. But I also acknowledge that women are women and men are men. And there are certain things that they can do that I cannot, and certain things that I can do and they can't. And that's perfectly fine. Why? Because God had created us different. I didn't say superior, different. And that's the beauty of it. And a person needs to realize, in order to attach yourself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to God, you need to separate yourself from other things around you. What does it mean? Again, not to become a hermit, but in order to connect yourself to God, you have to do what He tells you to do without taking into account what other people will tell about you. That's what I do. You can't hold it with both hands. In order to, it's like, what will happen to you if, imagine you have a skateboard or some kind of, rollers on your feet, or something, not skateboard, how do you call the other thing? Roller skates, they're attached to your feet. Skateboard will be easier, but let's say roller skates. And he says, I'm going to take a ride on one car. So you go like this, and the car is going, and right? But what will happen if you try to chain yourself to a car, and then chain yourself to another car, and then they're going to start going?
Make a wish.
It's going to be out in the open. You're going to split in half like the Red Sea. So you need to make up your mind. Where are you going to go? People or God? People or God? Very simple. And if God wants me to keep Shabbat, also I'll keep Shabbat. Why? Because He wants me to. Not even because philosophically it makes sense that Shabbat is this. No, God told me to keep Shabbat. I keep Shabbat. God told me to eat kosher. I eat kosher. Don't eat pig. No, don't eat pig. It's not that I'm being small-minded. It does not mean that you are not here trying to understand things and do things on different level and being aware. But you're being less, let's put it this way. Don't be so important, because you're not important. Because at the end of the day, you need to give a report to someone. We are all seeking some kind of a spiritual, uplifting. Everybody wants that. Even if you're going to Hare Krishna, you want to do that. But there's something you got to sacrifice. There's something you got to give up, because you just can't do it, holding everything and try to have it all. So connect yourself to God and do things because it just needs to be done. That's a tremendous freedom, because imagine a person, we are like spiritually OCD. Imagine a person is OCD. He moves his car up this way. Then he thinks, no, it's going to be better here. And he moves it here. No, he's going to move it back here. All day long he's going to be occupied with his cup. Where the cup is going to go. At the end of the day, he hasn't done anything besides moving the cup in a very insignificant, not important things all day long. Now, when you attach yourself to God, you are free to do whatever you want, because you know this is what I need to do, and now I have time to do other stuff. I don't have to occupy with this. How do people think about me? Well, this going to be good in the eyes of people? Is this going to be approved? Is this going to be approved? Am I going to get a rating? What are you, in a reality show? You don't live in a reality show. America has no talent. Only God has talent. You don't have any talent. The talent that was given to you is given to you by God. It's not even yours. Now what are you doing with it? So that's what he's saying here. It says, Al ken nifrad mikain. He needs to separate from Cain, from that side. Ashrei Adam, lucky he was the man who had merited to go in the path of the Torah and to attach himself in his ways, in the ways of Hashem. And he said, Ki k'sha'adam olech b'darkei HaTorah, when a person walks in the path of Torah, u'moshech alav ruach kadosh elyon, he draws upon himself a holy superior spirit. You want to become more spiritual? No problem. You're not going to have it by smoking a joint. It's anything but spiritual. In order to be spiritual, a spiritual person, a true spiritual person, needs to have a situational awareness of a ninja. You cannot be spiritual and be dopey, because you can win with dope. Any kind of dope. Whatever it is that you're addicted to. Can't. You need to be aware of everything that's going around you. Situational awareness of, again, a Delta Force warrior in the middle of a raid. All your senses got to work. That's a spiritual person. If you're tipsy, it's not going to happen. You think you're spiritual. You're anything but. Anything but. So how do you do it? When you are so aware, you direct your actions. You're very well directed. You draw and you walk in the path of the Torah. You walk in the path of God. You walk in His footprints, right? Not that you're going to ever become God, but you follow that model of behavior. You drawing upon yourself holiness, kedusha. When you draw upon yourself your holiness, you become holy. And how you do that? Start learning Torah, because this is the path. And you need to have a guide who will guide you on the path. Otherwise, you're going to get lost. You're going to come to interpret the Torah whichever way you want it. There are certain ways to interpret the Torah. There's a manuscript, how to interpret that. There's an encryption code, how to do that. And you need somebody to teach you. You cannot do it yourself. Nobody can. Not even Moshe Rabbeinu could. He had God teach him how to do that. And don't tell me you're better than Moshe Rabbeinu. Because if you do think so, you're arrogant. And you're anything but a spiritual person. Arrogance has no room in spirituality. Why? Because when a person is truly spiritual, he realizes that he is nothing. As we said last week, we have no color that is generated from ourselves. We are colorless. All the colors that we have reflect from us. So when you see people as colorless, you realize that we are all equal in the eyes of God. And the color that reflects on us is just because God wanted it like this. Therefore, there's no room for me to start hating people because of the color. Because if I hate, that's why being a racist is anti-God. You can't be a racist and say that you are God-fearing man. You can't. That's why God made Jews in all colors, and all shapes, and all forms. He made them Johnny Blue Eyes, and He made them black. He made them green, and anything. Jews you can find anywhere. Because it's a lesson for us to learn. We are all Jews. And then we are all people. Determine the people by their actions, not by their color. I don't have a problem if my son would marry an Ethiopian girl. She's a Shomer Shabbat. She's Shomer Torah Mitzvot. She walks in the path of Judaism. I don't really care. What difference does it make to me? She's a Jew? Yes. Shomer Shabbat? Yes. Shomer Mitzvot? Yes. Okay. Well, now what? The color of the skin. I guess I didn't work on myself hard enough. I guess my son is better than me. If I have a problem and my son would marry an Ethiopian girl, I can tell you that. My son became a better Jew than I am. That's the way I look at it. That is the path in which we should go through. And now, as we say, Ad Yareh Alenu Ruach Memarom, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when you walk in His path, He pours upon yourself a spirit from above. The same thing as they do to the king. They anoint him with oil. But when you're a spiritual person, Hashem anoints you with the Holy Spirit. You become spiritual. Ukesha'adam mateh derachav, when a person goes off the path, Moshech alav ruach acher me'atzad ha'acher, he draws upon himself a ruach tum'ah, a spirit of impurity. And it says, and that tzad tum'ah, from the impure side, and v'tzad tum'ah mit'orer mitzad ha'nekev shel ha'tehom ha'gadol, the great abyss, the great canyon, the unknown. You know, I don't know if you ever went over a canyon in the ocean. If any of you ever did a deep sea diving. One time I saw it, and it was like a humbling experience. I told you, I went diving, and there was this rock that looked like a V shape like this, and the guy who I went with knew the place. He says to me, just do what I said, do what I do. And he said, fine. He went like this, and he pulled himself over, and I said, fine, because you couldn't really see. It was like up here, right? So I went like this to the rock, and I pulled it up, and I was like, because it was going down to 100 meters. We were at like 20, and went down to 100 meters. So it was 80 meters down, and it's blue, and it's like dark blue, very dark blue. And you understand all of a sudden, it's like, your kishn is coming out, and it's just the great, best feeling. We can't do it again. There's no such thing as a second time, because you already know. There is such thing as the great darkness out there, and it's funneling down, and all the tum'ah comes from that area here. So when a person is acting in an improper way, he draws upon himself he takes imagine you are in a sink, okay? But the sink, you are on the bottom of the pipe, and somebody's pulling the plug from the top, and all the water coming down like this. So when you go and you get the impurity on you, you're basically removing the plug of the sink of tum'ah, and all the impurity will come pouring on you, and you are out of control. And he says, and from there, mishkenot aruchot haraim hamazikim lebnei adam. From there is the spiritual attribute that actually cause harm to the person. And it says that a person who attaches himself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he does the mitzvot HaTorah, kivyachol hu mekayem ha'olamot, the existence of the world is dependent upon him. Olam shelemala, the upper words, ve'olam shelemata. And where already says, ve'asitem oto. Ve'asitem oto. Oto what? Oto ha'olam. You should make. So when you do the mitzvot, since you are maintaining the world, it's like, you created the world. Again, you become a partner in that. That's what they say. V'chol mi she'over al mitzvot HaTorah. And whoever violates the mitzvot HaTorah, and now we're going to get into a part of the Zohar that it's really it's amazing. It's just amazing what wisdom there is in the Zohar. That's why I don't care who wrote it or where it was written. There's such tremendous wisdom in it that it's just beautiful. And a person who violates the mitzvot HaTorah, creates blemishes in the spiritual world and in the physical world. And on top, he's also pogem himself. He's also hurting and blemishing himself. What does it mean? So an example, there are people who are going on a boat. You know, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. They're all going to America. It's imagine Columbus over there, right? Not on a speedboat. He's going on those 3 boats, right? And then they have a buffoon over there. He's making a hole. Making a hole. Say, hey, what are you doing? So what are you doing? I'm making a hole. Why are you making a hole? You're going to kill us all. So what do you care what I'm doing? It's my part here. I rented this area on the boat. It's mine. I rented it. I'll make a hole until tomorrow. You're going to kill us all. That's exactly it. When you tell somebody, say, listen, why are you doing Avarot? Keep Shabbat. Do something. Live your life as a Jew. What does he tell you usually? Listen, well, you're going to tell me what to do with my life? In a way, yes. Because you're hurting me as well. Since we are judged as one, when you are violating something, I'm hurting as well. If I will take your pinky toe and I'll take a Maxwell silver hammer and I'm going to bang down upon your toe, bang like this, don't tell me that the only thing that hurts you is your toe. Your whole body is going to be in pain, wouldn't it? It's just your little pinky toe. What's the big deal? It's only Maxwell silver hammer. Bang, bang. Your whole body, everything hurts you. Let the toe hurt. No, the whole body hurts. That's what you're doing. It's selfishness. So therefore you see that a person that does an Averah, nothing will cause a person to do Averah besides the fact that he is selfish. He doesn't care about anyone. He doesn't care about himself. He doesn't even care about his kids or the example. It's selfishness that causes the person to do an Averah. And when they're selfish, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, listen, this place is, this town is too small for the 2 of us. Got that, Sheriff? And it doesn't make a difference if you are in LA or somewhere. You're doing Averah, you are selfish. Selfish. Wow, you don't care about us? But let me tell you something. If all of a sudden the religious Jews said, oh, 1 second, you know what, we are separated. Everybody will scream, oh, you selfish Jews. Well, you don't include us. We're also part of the Jews. So it's only selfishness when somebody else does it. When they do it, it's not selfish. And it's the same thing that I tell you time and time again. Eretz Israel, the land of Israel, Jerusalem, was not given to Israelis. Because Israelis are Christians and they are Muslims and the Baha'is and the who knows what. Eretz Israel was given to the Jews. All the Jews. Ba'asher hem. And therefore any negotiation and any vote that it has to do in the future of Israel, the land of Israel, or Jerusalem, has to be a consensus among all Jews in the world. It was not given to them only. As much as people would claim that God is not a real estate agent, I'll tell you that. The United Nations is not as well a real estate agent. Eretz Israel was given to us by God. So I have a claim just as a claim as the guy who sits in Yerushalayim, in the west, in the old city, just as much as he does, and so do you. And Eretz Israel would not tolerate such behavior. And the Kotel HaMa'aravi, the Western Wall, has been a sign of Jewish identity for thousands of years. How dare would anybody desecrate it in such a way with a complete disregard to the people that kept this alive? If it wasn't for the religious people, the Kotel would have been today some kind of a parade, some kind of a mall, some kind of archaeological site. Not understanding that the Kotel represents the essence of Am Yisrael, the desire of Am Yisrael to come back not only to its land, to God Himself. How dare people desecrate this place like that? And what right? How do we keep silent? Why don't we do anything? Why don't we send emails to the Israeli embassy and says, listen, Yaharek v'bal ya'avor. And next time you want to send a consul to talk to us here about Israel, excuse me, answer me first. So you should know that we are not happy with that. That's something we have to remember. Because it's all about us. It's all about Am Yisrael as one unit. There is no such thing as Am Yisrael asher b'gola and Am Yisrael asher ba'aretz. Am Yisrael, period. And there's no such thing as an Israeli and you are this. We are Jews. And that's why you have to be grateful for this country that allowed you to be here. They allowed you to come here and practice religion in freedom. You have to be grateful for this country. And don't ever forget that. Gratefulness or ungratefulness at the end of the day will stem out to be, how do you relate yourself to God? If you cannot be grateful to people, you are not going to be grateful to God as well. And that's when they say, when there is such thing, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to be very angry with us. And why? Because at the end, we are causing to ourselves damage. And it says, Vehema, and what it says, V'aken isho isha, that's what the pasuk says. Isho isha, man or woman, ki ya'asu mikol chatot ha'adam. Eze Adam? Adam HaRishon. A man or woman that will cause sin as much of what? As much of who? As much as Adam HaRishon, first man, Adam. Ve'em avu al brit. And they violated a covenant. Adam avar al mitzvah achat shebatorah, a person violated one mitzvah b'torah, garam le'atzmo mitah, brings himself closer to death. Ulechol ha'olam pagam. Not only to himself, and he blemishes the whole world. And not only the whole world, also the spiritual world. That sin is being suspended on until HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to decide that this is over. When we say Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem, means erase the blemish of the sin that we had caused into this world. And that's what it says, right? Swallow the death forever. What does it mean, mavet? Erase all the averot that we did because they caused us death to this world. U'macha Elokim dim'a me'al kol panim. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu would erase every tear that came from anyone's face. Because of that, it says, Ki yasu mikol chatot ha'adam, Adam HaRishon, lim'ol mal be'Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not forget that Adam HaRishon, first man, Adam, betrayed God. Ma'al, betrayed him. Ki mishe yotze mirachamim, whoever comes out from mercy, mirachamim, veyonek minadim, and causes himself to nourish from the din, gorem pgam, causes hardship to this world. That's why we have to say, we have to be involved in chesed and rachamim. And because that arachaman, Kadosh Baruch Hu, which is the merciful one, would save us from Mirshei HaOlam, from the wicked people of the world, Umin HaPgam Shelem, and from the blemish in which they cause in the world. Ki kama tzadikim mistalkim b'gam, many righteous people die because of them. Chutz mikol ma shegormim lemala velemata, besides the fact that they cause damage and blemish in the upper worlds and in this world as well. That's why we have to give tochecha to people. We have to tell them, listen, you're not doing the right thing. Fix their ways. Fix our ways. Attach ourselves with Derech HaTorah. And there's no better way to do so and to be accepting upon yourself all of Torah, the bread of Torah, than today. Not tomorrow, even though it's Erev Shavuot. Today. Ki yafa sha'a achat kodem. It's always good to do it an hour before. That's why we always say, if you came on time, you are late. To be on time is to be early. So ma tova sha'a achat kodem, let's all accept upon ourselves at all Torah, the burden of the Torah. And because we accepted upon ourselves the burden of Torah, we will be able to be mekayem ve'afta l'reacha kamocha. And b'zchut zeh HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishlach lanu, will send all of us chayim shel osher va'osher, parnasa, בריאות, הצלחה, נחת מכל יצא חלצנו, שלום בית ואמונה טהורה, אמן כן יהי רצון.